Eli woke up to the sound of distant engines humming outside the window of their apartment. The city stretched endlessly, a mixture of metallic towers, floating walkways, and glowing advertisements in countless languages. The sky above was a swirl of neon streaks from passing airships. Today, though, the hum of the city didn't matter. Today was special. Today was Eli's birthday. Eli stretched lazily, feeling the weight of 15 years settled into their small frame. "Another year older," they muttered, pulling the blanket over their shoulder. Their room was a mix of human gadgets and alien trinkets, souvenirs from neighbors, friends, and travelers who visited the interstellar district they called home. A small shelf held a shiny model starship from an alien world called Clyra, and beside it, a cube-shaped puzzle from another species that could only be solved through unusual angles and thinking. The sound of knocking at the door made Eli sit upright. "Already?" they murmured. It was only early morning, but somehow, word had spread that today was their special day. "Happy birthday," came the booming voice of Zikar, their neighbor. Eli grinned at the familiar sound. Zikar was a sight to behold. Standing nearly 8 feet tall, with 4 arms, 3 glowing eyes, and skin that shimmered in shades of blue and green, he was intimidating to strangers. But to Eli, he was just a playful, teasing presence, always checking in and offering advice or jokes that went over most humans' heads. "Looks like you've really grown up," Zikar said, leaning in slightly through the doorway. His tone was teasing, but his third eye glimmered warmly. Eli laughed, brushing a strand of messy hair from their face. "So, where's my present?" they said with a mischievous grin. Zikar laughed in return, a sound that rumbled like distant thunder. "Patience, little human. A present is not just given. It is earned, or discovered." Eli rolled their eyes but smiled. The neighbor's riddles were almost as famous as his size. "I'll discover it," they replied, voice full of playful determination. "You can bet on that." Zikar raised all 4 arms, mimicking a shrug. "Very well then. May the stars guide your discovery." With a final chuckle, he vanished down the hallway. Eli turned back to the window, looking at the sprawling city beyond. Humans were rare here, a small but remarkable species living among aliens of all shapes and sizes. To most aliens, humans were unpredictable, sometimes brilliant, sometimes reckless, but always fascinating. Eli had grown up hearing stories of human achievements, from space explorers to inventors who solved problems aliens could not. And today, Eli felt like part of that legacy, even if in a small way. Breakfast was a simple affair. Eli made toast and poured a glass of orange-colored juice, watching a few floating news panels give updates about distant planets. There was talk of new trade routes, scientific discoveries, and political meetings across the galaxy. To Eli, it all seemed distant and complicated, but exciting. Just as Eli took a sip of juice, a soft chime echoed through the apartment. A delivery drone hovered outside the window, holding a small package wrapped in silver. Eli's heart skipped a beat. "That must be it," they whispered. Rushing to the door, Eli grabbed the package and carried it back to their room. The silver wrapping shimmered in the morning light, and there was no label, no sender, no instructions. Only the hum of quiet energy vibrating through the thin wrapping. Eli's curiosity spiked. Sitting cross-legged on the floor, Eli carefully unwrapped the package. Inside was a small, sleek device, unlike anything they had seen before. It was cube-shaped but with moving layers, each side engraved with symbols that glowed faintly when touched. Eli's fingers hovered above it, sensing a subtle warmth, as if the device was alive. This is incredible," Eli whispered, eyes wide. The device seemed to respond to their touch, spinning slightly as their fingers brushed over a corner. A soft hum filled the room, growing louder with each movement. For the first time, Eli noticed the faint writing on the edge. "To the human who dares to grow." A shiver ran down their spine. Zikar's words from earlier came back. "A present is not just given. It is earned, or discovered." Eli smiled. Perhaps this was more than a birthday gift. Perhaps it was a test or a challenge meant only for humans. Hours passed as Eli experimented with the device. Twisting one side caused a series of lights to flash. Pressing a symbol on another side made the cube hum in harmonic tones. Nothing seemed dangerous, but every movement brought a new surprise. Eli laughed aloud when one side suddenly popped open, revealing a tiny holographic map of a nearby star system. This is like a star chart, Eli whispered, heart racing. But it moves. It changes. Indeed, the map shifted and reformed, showing constellations that Eli had never seen before, planets labeled in strange alien script. It seemed alive, almost as if it had a mind of its own. Eli's excitement was interrupted by a faint knock at the door. Another visitor? Eli muttered, careful not to knock over the cube. They opened the door to find Mira, a human friend who lived a few apartments down. Her hair was tied back, and she carried a small gift bag with alien stickers on it. "Happy birthday," Mira exclaimed, handing over the bag. "I brought something simple cake from the Clyron bakery." Eli grinned and accepted the bag. "Thanks, Mira. But I think I just got the best present ever." They held up the glowing cube, and Mira's eyes widened. "Whoa, is that real?" she asked. Her voice filled with awe. "Apparently, only humans can use it," Eli said. "It reacts to me. I don't know how, but it just does." Mira reached out, touching the edge of the cube. It vibrated slightly, and then went still. "It's like it recognizes you," she whispered. Eli nodded. "Exactly. I think it's meant for humans. That's kind of amazing, isn't it? We're small, barely noticed in the galaxy. But maybe we're special in ways other species aren't." Mira smiled. "That's true. Humans are full of surprises." The day continued with small celebrations. Eli's friends stopped by to give gifts, share food, and laugh. But throughout the day, Eli's mind kept returning to the cube. There was a sense that it was more than a toy. It was a tool, a key, or maybe even a door to something incredible. As night fell, Eli sat by the window, staring at the city lights. They could see Zikar walking along the floating walkway below. Pausing to glance up at their window, Eli waved, and Zikar raised a hand in return. A faint smile visible even from a distance. This city, Eli thought, is full of aliens who are smart, strong, and ancient. But maybe humans. Maybe we have something they don't. Something unexpected. The cube rested in Eli's lap, softly glowing like a heartbeat. Eli smiled, a mix of excitement and determination lighting their eyes. "Tomorrow," they whispered to themselves, "I'll find out exactly what this thing can do. And maybe, just maybe, humans will surprise everyone again." And with that, Eli leaned back in their chair, feeling older, braver, and somehow a little more grown up. Not just because it was their birthday, but because for the first time, they understood that being human in a galaxy full of wonders might be the greatest adventure of all. The next morning, Eli woke up with a mix of excitement and curiosity buzzing in their chest. The glowing cube from yesterday sat on their desk, waiting like a quiet challenge. Eli had spent the entire night thinking about it, imagining what it could do. Humans had always been small and unpredictable in the galaxy. But this was something entirely new. Breakfast was quick and distracted. Eli's mind kept drifting back to the cube, tracing its edges and thinking about the symbols that seemed to glow when they touched them. "What are you hiding?" Eli whispered, turning it over in their hands. The cube vibrated softly, almost like it was alive, responding to the tone of their voice. The sound of a knock at the door interrupted their thoughts. Eli opened it to see Zikar standing there, looking as imposing and playful as ever. "Already awake, little human?" Zikar asked, his voice booming. Eli grinned. "I couldn't sleep. I was thinking." Zikar's eyes glimmered. "Thinking is good. especially for humans. You see, the universe has many mysteries that even the oldest aliens cannot solve. But humans, you always find a way. Eli held up the cube. I think I found one of those mysteries yesterday. Zekar leaned in, curiosity shining through his massive frame. A human gift? Or a human challenge? Eli shrugged. Maybe both. I don't know yet. Zekar smiled. Then let the day guide you. Sometimes, the best discoveries are made not by rushing, but by exploring. With a soft laugh, he departed, leaving Eli alone with the cube and a growing sense of anticipation. Eli decided to start small. They examined the cube side by side, with the holographic map it projected yesterday. Pressing one of the glowing symbols caused a ripple of light to spread across the cube's surface. Suddenly, the tiny star system on the map shifted, forming a new arrangement of stars and planets. This is incredible, Eli whispered, eyes wide. It's alive. They tried a different combination, twisting two sides simultaneously. A faint hum echoed in the room, and the map projected a trail, a possible path through space, marked with glowing lines. Eli's heart raced. The cube wasn't just showing them stars, it was suggesting a way to travel between them. Wait, is this a wormhole key? Eli murmured. The idea seemed impossible. Wormholes were dangerous, unstable, and heavily controlled by the interstellar councils. Yet the cube seemed to respond only to them, a human. No alien could have made it work this way. The excitement was interrupted by a sudden chime from the city below. Eli peeked out the window to see a small drone hovering near their apartment. It carried a letter with strange alien writing that glowed softly. Eli grabbed it and carefully opened the envelope. Inside was a note written in a neat, precise hand. The device responds to those who dare to grow. Use it wisely. The galaxy watches. Eli blinked, reading it twice. The galaxy watches? They whispered. The words sent a chill down their spine, but also sparked a thrill of excitement. Humans were always underestimated. Perhaps this was another reason aliens found them so fascinating. The rest of the morning passed in a blur. Eli tried every combination, every movement, and every touch on the cube. Each adjustment caused a different reaction. Sometimes a map changed, sometimes lights danced across the symbols, and sometimes the device simply hummed quietly, as if waiting for something more. By afternoon, Eli realized the cube wasn't just a toy. It was a tool of exploration, perhaps even a key to hidden parts of the galaxy. But it was also delicate. A wrong move could make it stop responding, or worse, send them somewhere unexpected. To clear their mind, Eli decided to take a walk through the city. Humans were rare here, so every human sighting drew curious glances. Aliens of all shapes, sizes, and colors passed by. Tall, thin ones with glassy skin. Small, multi-eyed beings that bounced on springy legs, floating entities that seemed to hum with energy. Eli waved at a few familiar faces, feeling both proud and small in the vast galaxy around them. They found a quiet corner in a floating park, where artificial trees reached toward the sky. Eli held the cube in their hands, studying it as a gentle breeze ruffled their hair. The device glowed warmly, almost like it knew Eli needed answers. Then, without warning, the cube pulsed brightly and projected a full holographic map of the surrounding star systems. Lines connected distant planets, forming paths that Eli had never seen before. One glowing path pulsed stronger than the others, leading to a small, uncharted world. Eli's heart pounded. This is a path, they whispered. It wants me to follow it. The realization made Eli feel a mix of fear and excitement. Humans were always underestimated, and yet here they were, holding something no alien could use, something that could change the way the galaxy saw them. The cube hummed softly, as if confirming their thought. Returning to the apartment, Eli shared their discovery with Mira. She listened intently, her eyes wide with amazement. You're really going to try it? Mira asked, a hint of worry in her voice. Eli nodded. I have to. This is more than a birthday gift. It's a chance to explore, to prove that humans can do things other species can't. Mira smiled, though her hands fidgeted nervously. Humans are amazing, she said softly. But be careful. Not everyone in the galaxy will understand that. Eli's fingers tightened around the cube. I know, but that's part of being human. We take risks. We find solutions. We adapt. That night, Eli sat by the window again, the city lights twinkling below. The cube rested in their lap, glowing softly. They traced the lines of the map, projected into the air, imagining the journey ahead. Somewhere along the paths shown, there were worlds untouched by humans, mysteries unsolved, and opportunities for ingenuity. And Eli felt ready. As they drifted toward sleep, Eli's mind was filled with stars, possibilities, and a growing sense of purpose. The cube pulsed faintly, almost like a heartbeat, as if acknowledging the human who dared to grow. Little did Eli know, across the galaxy, a few eyes alien and curious were indeed watching. Whispers spread through distant councils and scientific enclaves about a small, unpredictable species holding the key to something extraordinary. Humans, one elder alien muttered. They always surprise us. And for Eli, that was exactly the point. Tomorrow, the adventure would begin. The morning sun spilled across the city, painting towers in shades of gold and silver. Eli woke with a sense of purpose, the glowing cube resting beside them like a silent companion. Yesterday had been full of surprises, but today, Eli felt ready to explore the cube's true potential. They carefully lifted the device and traced their fingers along its engraved symbols. The cube responded instantly, humming softly as though it recognized its human owner. The lines of the holographic map from the day before floated in the air, forming paths through star systems that humans had only read about in stories. Eli's heart raced. This is it, Eli whispered. This is really it. Breakfast was brief. Eli barely touched the food, consumed by curiosity. They knew the city was full of aliens who watched humans with fascination, often underestimating them. But the cube's behavior was proof that humans were different. By late morning, Eli had packed a small bag with essentials: water, snacks, a communicator, and a few tools. The cube was secured in a special harness they had made. Mira arrived just as Eli was about to leave. Eli, are you sure about this? Mira asked, worry clear in her eyes. You don't know what you might find out there. Of your no. Of very clear as the Kansif. Of your know what you might find out there. Eli smiled reassuringly. That's the point, Mira. Humans are explorers. We take risks. We adapt. That's what makes us different. Don't worry, I'll be careful. Mira nodded slowly, still uneasy. Then, just promise me one thing. Come back safely. I promise, Eli said. And with that, they activated the cube. The device glowed brighter than ever before. Light wrapped around Eli in a warm cocoon, and the room seemed to dissolve. The city, the apartment, even the street below, everything disappeared. When the light faded, Eli found themselves standing on the surface of a strange, uncharted planet. The sky was a deep violet, dotted with two suns. Towering crystal formations rose from the ground, glowing faintly in the light. The air shimmered with a strange energy, and distant shapes moved across the horizon. Eli's heart pounded with awe. This is amazing, Eli whispered, taking in the alien landscape. The cube floated in front of them, projecting the holographic map, with paths leading further into the unknown. Eli stepped forward cautiously. The ground was firm but seemed to hum slightly beneath their feet. Each step made the cube glow brighter, guiding them toward the first waypoint on the map. It was as if the device itself was encouraging them, testing their instincts, and rewarding their curiosity. Hours passed as Eli navigated through the crystalline landscape. Strange creatures observed from a distance, some small and curious, others large and cautious, but none approached aggressively. It was clear that the cube not only provided a map, but also some subtle protection. Eventually, Eli reached a clearing. At the center was a massive, ancient-looking structure, half buried in the glowing soil. Symbols similar to those on the cube were etched into the walls. Eli's eyes widened. This must be it," they whispered. The cube pulsed in response, almost like it was approving. Eli carefully examined the entrance. There was a series of grooves and slots that perfectly matched the cube's shape. With a deep breath, Eli placed the device into the center slot. The structure trembled slightly, then began to shift. Panels moved, lights flashed, and the entire building seemed to awaken. A doorway appeared, leading into darkness. Eli stepped inside, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. The interior was vast, filled with more glowing symbols, holographic panels, and strange machinery. The air was thick with energy, and the cube hovered in front of them, illuminating the room. As they explored, Eli realized that the structure was some kind of ancient star gateway, something that could connect distant planets instantly. The walls displayed routes to countless systems, some known, many unknown. Eli's pulse quickened. Humans were small, fragile, and underestimated. Yet here they were, standing in a place no alien had accessed in centuries. Humans can do things aliens cannot, Eli murmured, their mind racing. The cube had recognized their uniqueness, their intuition, and their adaptability qualities that even the most advanced civilizations sometimes lacked. Suddenly, the structure hummed louder. A holographic figure appeared, a projection of an alien being, translucent and glowing. Its voice was soft but carried authority. "Human, you have awakened the gateway. Only a species capable of curiosity, courage, and adaptability may use this technology. Use it wisely. The galaxy watches." Eli nodded. "I understand," they said, though the cube pulsed as if acknowledging their resolve. "I'll be careful, and I'll do what humans do best. I'll explore, learn, and adapt." The projection faded, leaving Eli alone with the cube. They felt a sense of pride swell in their chest. Humans were small in the grand galaxy, yet here they were unlocking secrets that others had not dared to approach. It was a reminder that size and strength were not always the most important traits. Creativity, curiosity, and courage could change everything. Hours passed as Eli studied the gateway. They experimented with the cube, trying different paths, and observing the glowing routes that appeared. Some led to safe, familiar systems. Others pointed to places that humans had never visited, full of unknown dangers and mysteries. Eli felt a thrill of anticipation. As evening approached, Eli prepared to leave the structure. They activated the cube again, feeling the familiar warmth and hum wrap around them. The world outside blurred, and in moments, they were back on their own planet, standing safely in their apartment. Mira was waiting, worry etched on her face. Eli smiled, holding up the cube. "I've been exploring. Humans are different, Mira. We take risks, we adapt, and sometimes, we surprise everyone, even ourselves." Mira's eyes widened. That's incredible. "You actually did it?" "I did," Eli said, their excitement barely contained, "and I'm just getting started. There are worlds out there waiting, mysteries no one has solved. And humans, we might be the only ones who can unlock them." The cube pulsed softly, as if in agreement. Eli felt a deep sense of purpose settle over them. Humans were small, but they were clever, brave, and unpredictable. And now, with the cube, they had a chance to prove it to the entire galaxy. That night, Eli stood by the window, gazing at the stars. Somewhere out there, ancient civilizations had hidden knowledge, gateways, and secrets. And somehow, The galaxy had chosen humans who were underestimated, curious, and bold to uncover them. "This is just the beginning," Eli whispered to themselves. The cube pulsed warmly in their hands, a silent companion and guide. And humans will rise to the challenge. Little did Eli know, the glow of the cube had been noticed. In distant corners of the galaxy, whispers spread. Some were filled with curiosity. Others were filled with unease. Rumors of a human holding a device that could open ancient gateways reached ears that had long thought themselves untouchable. But Eli didn't worry about that. Right now, they had a gift, a purpose, and a galaxy to explore. And one thing was clear. Humans were small. Yes, but they were unstoppable when curiosity and courage guided them. For the first time, Eli truly understood the teasing words of their neighbor Zekar. Humans really were different, and in a universe full of aliens who underestimated them, that difference was the most powerful thing of all. And somewhere, deep in the cosmos, the first hints of the next challenge were beginning to stir, waiting for the human who dared to grow. Eli awoke to a strange vibration in the apartment. The cube, resting on the desk, glowed brighter than ever before. Its hum was louder, almost urgent. Something was happening. Eli's heart raced as they approached it, sensing that today would bring more than curiosity, it would bring a test. Before they could react further, a soft chime echoed from the communicator. It was Mira. "Eli, I don't know how to say this," she began, her voice trembling slightly. "Something strange is happening in the city. Drones are everywhere. And I overheard a group of aliens. They're talking about a human with a special device." Eli's eyes widened. "They know about the cube?" Mira's reply was immediate. "Yes. And they're not just curious. They're planning something." See, Eli felt a chill run down their spine. Humans were already rare in the galaxy, and now their uniqueness, the very thing that made them special, had drawn attention. But Eli had learned one thing over the past days. Humans were clever, resourceful, and bold, and that meant they could face challenges others could not. Grabbing the cube, Eli activated it. Light wrapped around them, and the familiar sensation of transport began. They needed to move quickly, to understand the cube's powers before anyone else could misuse it. The apartment blurred, and moments later, Eli found themselves on the uncharted planet they had discovered earlier. The landscape was eerily quiet, bathed in violet light from the twin suns. Eli scanned the horizon, searching for signs of the approaching threat. And then they saw them, 3 alien ships descending, sleek and armed, clearly searching for someone or something. Eli's pulse quickened. The aliens were faster, stronger, and had technology that could outmatch most humans. But Eli wasn't just any human. They had the cube, a device that responded only to them, and with it, they had the advantage of unpredictability. Taking a deep breath, Eli activated the cube. Paths of light appeared, mapping safe routes through the crystalline landscape. The device pulsed, responding to Eli's instincts as they navigated through narrow valleys and glowing crystal towers. The alien ships followed, but the cube's guidance kept Eli just out of reach. Hours passed as Eli dodged and weaved through the terrain. Each turn revealed new surprises, hidden tunnels, energy fields, and areas that seemed impossible to cross. But humans were adaptable, and Eli used every instinct they had to keep ahead. Finally, Eli reached a clearing with a natural archway of crystal, forming a bridge over a glowing river. The cube pulsed stronger than ever, almost urging them forward. Eli took a deep breath and stepped onto the bridge. The alien ships approached the edge of the clearing, but as Eli moved, the bridge activated. Sections of crystal shifted, creating barriers and illusions that confused the pursuers. The aliens hesitated, scanning the environment, but the human had already moved on. Humans really are different," one of the alien commanders muttered, his voice filled with disbelief. "No one else could navigate this terrain like that." Eli didn't pause. The cube guided them to a hidden valley, where strange plants glowed softly. and the air shimmered with energy. Here, the device seemed to settle, almost as if it were recharging. Eli took a moment to catch their breath, heart pounding from the chase. This isn't just about exploration anymore, Eli whispered to themselves. It's about protecting what humans can do. The cube pulsed again, projecting a series of symbols that Eli could now interpret more clearly. They were instructions, paths to evade, safe spots, and warnings about unstable areas. Eli followed them carefully, feeling a surge of confidence. Humans were small, yes, but they were clever. They adapted. And in moments like these, that made all the difference. As night fell, Eli found a natural cave among the crystal formations. The cube's glow illuminated the interior, revealing ancient carvings similar to those in the gateway. Eli realized that this planet was full of secrets, places designed to test intelligence and creativity. The aliens might have technology, but they lacked the subtle intuition that humans possessed. Hours passed in quiet contemplation. Eli studied the carvings, discovering more about the ancient civilization that had built the structures. Symbols revealed maps, energy flows, and even warnings about the dangers of misuse. Each discovery made Eli feel a deeper connection to the cube and to the legacy of human curiosity. But Eli knew the threat was still out there. Alien ships patrolled the skies, scanning for signs of the human who dared to grow. Eli activated the cube again, projecting a small field that masked their presence. The technology was subtle but effective, a reminder that humans had a knack for improvisation. Suddenly, a new vibration ran through the cube. Eli looked closer and realized it was a warning. Another group of aliens was approaching, faster and more determined than before. Eli's heart raced, but they didn't panic. Instead, they analyzed the paths, anticipating movements, and letting instinct guide them. The cube pulsed, creating a narrow tunnel of light that led through a dense crystal forest. Eli moved quickly, using the environment to their advantage. Aliens followed, but the path was full of natural traps, shimmering rocks that shifted under weight, glowing vines that obstructed vision, and optical illusions that confused their sensors. "This is incredible," Eli whispered. "I can't believe humans are the only ones who can do this." Hours turned into a tense game of cat and mouse. Eli's mind worked constantly, finding ways to stay ahead. They realized that humans were unpredictable in a way no alien could calculate. Strength and technology were valuable, but creativity and intuition, human traits, made all the difference. Finally, Eli reached a plateau overlooking the valley below. The alien ships hovered in the distance, unable to follow further without risking damage. Eli activated the cube one last time, projecting a series of holographic lights that formed a dazzling display. The lights created illusions, making the plateau appear to shift and expand. The aliens hesitated, giving Eli the perfect moment to escape. Breathing heavily, Eli looked at the cube. "We did it," they whispered. "Humans can survive. Humans can adapt. Humans can protect what's important." As the stars began to glow in the violet sky, Eli realized something important. The cube was not just a tool for exploration, it was a reminder that humans, small and underestimated, could achieve extraordinary things. The galaxy had underestimated them for too long, and now, humans had a chance to show their true potential. Somewhere across the galaxy, the alien factions regrouped, discussing the human who had outsmarted them. "We underestimated them," one commander admitted. "They are small, yes, but clever. Incredibly clever. We must reconsider our approach." Back on the plateau, Eli felt a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. The challenge had tested their courage, intelligence, and adaptability. Humans were indeed different, and the cube had proven it. Eli smiled, feeling proud and determined. "This is only the beginning," Eli said aloud. "The galaxy might watch, but humans will rise to every challenge." And as the night deepened, Eli gazed at the stars, knowing that tomorrow would bring new paths, new discoveries, and perhaps new threats. But one thing was certain. Humans were not just survivors. They were explorers, innovators, and, above all, unexpected. With the cube glowing softly in their hands, Eli felt ready for whatever the galaxy had in store. And somewhere, hidden among the stars, new adventures were already waiting. The morning sun rose slowly over the city, casting long golden shadows across the towering buildings. Eli woke with a mixture of excitement and determination. The events of the past few days had been intense, and yet, as they held the cube in their hands, a sense of calm focus washed over them. Today felt different. Today, everything would come together. Eli's birthday was not just a celebration anymore. It had become a turning point, a moment where a small human could demonstrate the true power of curiosity, courage, and adaptability. They stretched, took a deep breath, and prepared for whatever challenges might come. Breakfast was quick, almost ceremonial. Eli barely touched the toast and juice, instead tracing their fingers along the edges of the cube. The device pulsed softly, as if sensing the human's resolve. Every hum and glow seemed to whisper, "You are ready." A sudden chime from the communicator made Eli jump. It was Zekar, human. Zekar's booming voice echoed, warm yet serious. "The galaxy has taken notice. The factions you've encountered are not idle. They are gathering. Today, your challenge reaches its peak. Are you prepared?" Eli smiled, feeling both nervous and confident. "I am. Humans are ready for this." Zekar's third eye glimmered. "Then go, little human. Show them the strength of a species they cannot predict." With a deep breath, Eli activated the cube. Light wrapped around them, and in moments, they were transported to the uncharted planet they had discovered earlier. The violet sky stretched above, twin suns casting a surreal glow over the crystalline landscape. The air hummed with energy, but today, there was something else. A sense of anticipation, as if the planet itself knew what was about to happen. From the distance, Eli saw the alien ships approaching again. This time, there were more dozens of sleek vessels, their lights scanning every corner. The humans had been noticed, and the factions were determined. Eli's heart raced, but they did not panic. Humans had a way of thinking that no alien could fully calculate. Activating the cube, Eli projected a holographic map, outlining paths through the terrain. But this time, it wasn't just about evading enemies. The cube pulsed brighter, urging them to take control, to use the environment, the terrain, and the device itself in clever ways. Eli darted forward, weaving through towering crystal formations. The alien ships followed, but their sensors struggled against the illusions and shifting pathways created by the cube. Each move was precise. Each decision relied on human intuition, something no alien algorithm could predict. Hours passed in a tense game of strategy and agility. Eli discovered hidden tunnels, natural bridges, and areas of energy that could be manipulated by the cube. Each time the aliens tried to gain an advantage, Eli was already 2 steps ahead, using creativity and courage to navigate obstacles. Finally, Eli reached the massive gateway structure they had discovered days before. The cube pulsed with intense energy. Recognizing the significance of this location, Eli's heart raced. This was the culmination of everything they had learned: the cube, the exploration, the challenges. Everything had led to this moment. Stepping inside, Eli activated the cube. The ancient structure came to life once again, lights flashing and panels moving in response to their presence. The holographic paths stretched across the galaxy, connecting distant systems. Eli realized that they were not just defending the device anymore, they were controlling a gateway that could influence the entire galaxy. Outside, the alien fleets hesitated. They had expected resistance, but they had not anticipated the intelligence, creativity, and adaptability of a single human. Eli's movements were fluid, precise, and unpredictable. The cube allowed them to manipulate the environment, creating illusions, barriers, and diversions that the aliens could not comprehend. Humans are incredible," one alien commander muttered, disbelief in their voice. No algorithm, no ship, no weapon could predict their actions. Eli pressed forward, guided by intuition and the cube's pulsing light. They activated a sequence that opened a hidden path within the gateway, creating a temporary energy shield that blocked the alien fleet's sensors. The ships hesitated, unable to locate the human or the cube. Eli had turned the tables. Hours passed as Eli worked tirelessly, navigating the structure and managing the cube's power. Finally, they reached the core chamber, a vast room filled with ancient technology, glowing softly under the twin sun's light filtering through crystalline walls. The cube hovered in the center, pulsing brighter than ever. Eli approached and placed their hands on the device. It responded immediately, projecting a holographic figure, a guardian of the gateway. Its translucent form shimmered with energy. "Human," it said, voice echoing like music. "You have proven yourself worthy. You have demonstrated courage, intelligence, and adaptability. The galaxy has doubted your kind, but you have shown that humans possess qualities no other species can match. The gift you hold is not just a tool, it is a responsibility." Eli nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride. "I understand. Humans are small, yes, but we are clever, resourceful, and determined. We take risks, explore, and adapt. That is who we are." The holographic figure's light pulsed in acknowledgement. "Then take this knowledge, human. Share it wisely, protect it fiercely, and continue to show the galaxy the strength of your kind." Outside, the alien fleets began to retreat. They had witnessed something extraordinary. A human who could navigate, manipulate, and outthink superior technology and strategy. Even the most skeptical commanders had no choice but to acknowledge the human's unique power. Back in the core chamber, Eli stood, chest swelling with pride. The cube's glow reflected in their eyes, a reminder that humans, small, underestimated, and often overlooked, could achieve remarkable things. They were explorers, problem solvers, and, most importantly, unpredictable. The cube pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat, as Eli realized something important. This birthday, once ordinary, had transformed into the moment that proved humans were different. They were not the strongest, the largest, or the most technologically advanced, but they were clever, adaptable, and fearless. And that made them extraordinary. As twilight fell, Eli activated the cube one final time, returning to their apartment. Mira was waiting. Worry etched on her face. "You did it," she whispered, awe and relief mixing in her voice. "You survived. You proved it." Eli smiled, holding the cube close. "Humans are more than they seem, Mira. We take risks, we adapt, and we always find a way. That's what makes us special." Mira shook her head, still amazed. "I always knew humans were clever. But this is beyond anything I imagined." Eli laughed softly. "It's just the beginning. There's a galaxy out there, full of mysteries and wonders. And humans, well, we're the ones who will explore it, solve it, and maybe even change it in ways no one expects." Zikar appeared at the window shortly after, his massive frame silhouetted against the city lights. He looked at Eli with pride and amusement. "Looks like you've really grown up," he said, his voice echoing the playful words from their first birthday. Eli grinned, holding up the cube. "That's because humans always grow, and surprise the galaxy." Zikar's 3 eyes glimmered warmly. "Indeed. And may the universe always remember the species that dares to grow in ways no one predicts." As the night deepened, Eli stood by the window, gazing at the stars. The cube pulsed softly in their hands, a gentle reminder of the journey, the challenges, and the triumphs. The galaxy had noticed. The universe had seen what humans were capable of. And for Eli, the greatest gift of all was clear. It was not the cube, not the exploration, and not even the victories. The true gift was the reminder that humans, small, clever, and daring, could rise to any challenge, adapt to any situation, and leave their mark on the cosmos. The birthday had begun with a simple tease from a neighbor. It had ended with the galaxy watching, recognizing, and, most importantly, learning that humans were not to be underestimated. Eli smiled, feeling a deep, unshakable pride. Humans are special, they whispered to themselves. And this is just the beginning. Somewhere, in distant star systems, the story of a human and a mysterious cube began to spread, a story of courage, ingenuity, and the undeniable truth that humans were a species unlike any other. The stars twinkled, the city shimmered, and Eli held the cube close, ready for whatever the future might bring. Because now, the galaxy knew, humans could surprise anyone, even the universe itself.